Hello everyone. You know, Plus Chess International is over, and this is last game of the final round. So whoever wins this game will definitely win the tournament. So Magnus with the white pieces opens up with c4. The English opening is on the board. Then e5, knight c3, knight f6, and g3. Magnus wants to flank it at the light square bishop and bishop b4. Some Slav variation of the English opening. e4, bishop takes c3 and b takes c3. And after this move, caruana just castle. You might think that why not capturing the pawn on e4? Then after queen e2, and when the knight is moving, you are going to lose the e5 pawn and with much better position for white. So this is not an option to go about it. So after this move, caruana just castled, and Magnus is playing f3, protects this pawn in this way. So b5, this is not the accurate move, and just caruana played it for some other reason, I guess. And after this move, Magnus is not paying attention to that pawn and responds with d4, stacking in the center. E takes d4, c takes d4, and b takes c4. And after this move, white should capture the c4, but before capturing, Magnus played e4, e5, push the pawn, push the knight, and after it is moving, then only going for the capture. Then bishop b7, protecting the knight, knight h3, and d6. And after this move, Magnus just castled, but castling is not the perfect move here. Queen c2 is good, because after this move you play something like h6. Do not allow the knight to jump on that g5 square. So after this move you simply play rook b1 and attack that bishop. So this would have continued the game, and you do not have a good square to, because if you move that bishop, then you are going to lose this knight. So this would have been good, but Magnus just castled. And after this move, knight d7, the developing move, rook e1, d takes e5, then d takes e5, and knight b6, attacking the bishop. Then bishop is going back on b3 square, and queen e7. And after this move, there is a fantastic engine line, and Magnus just spots it out. So feel free to pause the video and find the winning move for white here. It's not giving the winning move, but there is a slight advantage for white. Congratulations to everyone who spotted it out. And it's e6. You're just sacrificing a pawn, but accepting the sacrifice can be really disastrous for black. So black should respond with f6, but in the game caruana just accepts the sacrifice, and after it captures f takes e5. This is completely destructive. Knight is jumping on g5 square, and you will see where it goes wrong. So rook f6, protecting the pawn because it is attacked twice. And after this move, queen c2, attacking the pawn on h7. So that caruana has to defend it. And rook g6, he defends the pawn this way, but this is not the correct way to defend it, and caruana should have gone for g6. This is also losing because that bishop is jumping on b2 square, and you are still losing this pawn when it is moving, and this is a complete destruction. But after this move, caruana just played rook g6, and this is disastrous. You may pause the video and try to find out the winning move for Magnus Carlson here. Congratulations to everyone who spotted it out. It's rook takes a6, and you see the problem. If you go for the capture with that rook, then you are getting checkmated with two moves. It's queen h7 check, and when it is moving on f8, then it's a checkmate. So this is obviously not an idea to go about it. So after this move, Caruana played the most accurate line and he captured with the queen. And after captures, you are just up 2 pieces for a queen. But this is not the compensation, because your king is not still safe and your white pieces are pretty much developed. So bishop b2, rook e8, doubling up on e file. So bishop d4, and you will see the reason behind bishop d4. Then king h8. After this move, queen is jumping on f5, and after this move you see there is a problem. When bishop will capture this knight on b6, then if you go for the pawn capture, then definitely you will have no protection on d5, this knight. And if you go for the capture with the knight straight away, then you are losing the rook. So this is obvious a good move for white here. After this move, black just played bishop c8, but this is total destruction, and black would have simply played rook e7, and this is completely fine. After you go for the capture, then this is perfectly fine for black, but black is not going for it. And after this move, playing bishop c8, and Magnus goes for knight h5, that queen h5, but this is not the strongest continuation. And if Magnus would have played queen f7, then this is totally winning. You are threatening mate in 1, so you will have to defend it. And after you go for defense, because you cannot kick it away with other move like rook e7, because you are getting checkmated with one move. Bishop takes g7, it's mate in 1, so this is not an option. And after this move, we'll have to defend it, and this is completely lost. After you go for the capture, bishop takes, and if you go for any of the capture, then you are losing. If you go for this capture, then you are losing this, or if you go for the capture with the knight, then you are losing this rook. So this is completely winning for Magnus, but Magnus did not go for this and is playing queen h5. After queen h5, c5, and there is nothing that black can do. And after this move, attacking the queen f7, now queen is jumping on that f7 square. Bishop h3, and this is a total tragedy. So after this move, Magnus is just winning in one move. So bishop f8, and you can see there is a mate in 1, and if you try to save it, then definitely you are suffering heavy losses. So Caruana gives few checks. So after captures on e1 square, queen is moving on f2, and after this move, rook f1 check, king e2, then knight c3 check, and king d3. And after this move, no more moves were played, because you know there is no good move. You are simply losing and getting checkmated in one move. So Caruana resigned the game after move 31, and Magnus wins the Clutch International. So how was the video?